Hey, I'm Chris, and this is dinner at myplace.us. So tonight for dinner, we're going to have a chef's salad. This salad we're going to do in layers, and it's almost like a club sandwich without the bread. So for this salad, you need lettuce, tomato, cheese, Swiss cheese and cheddar cheese, ham and turkey, hard-boiled eggs, some cucumber, some mushrooms, green onions, and you want to get your dressing of choice. Most people grab the ranch. I am going to use some creamy dill dressing that I made in one of our other videos. So, since it's a layer salad, your order is really important. So we're going to go with our lettuce first. Do your lettuce. This is a head of iceberg lettuce. It should feel firm, almost like a properly inflated basketball. Just give that a good squeeze. Leaves should be light green, no mold on the bottom. Just get the firmest one you can find. What you'll do is take your knife in the pinch grip we always talk about and core it. So shove your knife in there. Just go around the inside. Don't be scared. Just take that core out. And we're going to come over here, give it a quick rinse. If there's any leaves that look like they're yellow or red or any other color, you want to yank them off. Give that a good wash. And let that drain out. Just slice that right in half. And that's the lettuce, so it doesn't put up much of a fight. So my preferred method of chopping this up is to chop it radially. So cut it in half, and then when you're cutting, make the blade of your knife go towards the center where you cut it in half. So you're making all these wedges. And this is really personal preference. I like fine wedges. And then you rotate it 90 degrees, and you're going to do kind of the same thing. Chop that in half, and then do some wedges. It's going to fall apart, but they're already small. It's okay. And assemble that into your bowl. You just kind of break it up. You got your nice little chunks of iceberg lettuce. The most non-offensive of all lettuce varieties. Just toss that in. And this less is more. We're going to have a lot of ingredients, so only go less than half the bowl up there. Same thing here. Just add a little bit in. Now this is a great thing to make because if you're making it for a whole bunch of people, it doesn't take you that much longer. Next thing is our tomato. So for this one, I like to do a nice beefsteak tomato. It's pretty big. One tomato for both people. First, check for blemishes. Like this tomato has a little boo-boo right there. So we're just going to slice that off. And no worms came out, so this tomato's good. Tip your knife. Just stab it in there in the center. To get the core out. And these beefsteak tomatoes have a pretty big core usually. Pop it out. Slice it in half so you have something to work with. And then in a good chef salad, you're going to have what are called julienne strips. That is a long strip that's about a 1/4 inch thick, a 1/4 inch tall, and maybe 2 inches wide, or usually however long your vegetable is. So in the case of the tomato, we're going to cut it in strips, right? So first we cut it into wedges so we can take all the seeds and the core and all the yucky stuff out. and we slice it in these julienne strips. And then we're going to cut our cheese and our ham and our turkey and our mushrooms into julienne strips. Yeah, it seems a little bit fussy, but the reason why we cut things into julienne strips is because it's easier to grab with your fork, and it doesn't get totally covered with dressing. You know, dressing's really just for your lettuce and a little bit on your veggies. So sometimes seeds will drop right out of your tomato. This one I had to cut it out because it had some core stuck to it. Same thing with the rest of them. Just slice it into what ended up being eighths of the tomato. And this one looks like the seeds just fall right out. No, it's our lucky day. This one's seeds fell right out too. So same thing here. Good, so now we have our tomato, our eighths, and then go ahead and each one of those wedges, you get a couple of strips out of it. You could dice it if you wanted to, but strips are good. When you're slicing these tomatoes, because they have a skin on them, make sure you put your knife into the tomato, usually put the tip on the cutting board, and then just push it forward, and that is going to slice cleanly through that skin. Otherwise, you'll chop straight down, and then it won't come apart because you didn't cut the skin. Just slice straight forward. Nice strips. All right, we got our tomato. So let's go ahead and sprinkle it on. All right. Now it's time for our cheese. Remember I said we're doing julienne strips. So same thing here. Got our Swiss cheese. And again, when you're cooking this, you're going to be hungry and you're going to want to throw the whole brick of cheese on. But less is more. Serving of cheese is an ounce, which is the size of your thumb. And that is how much I would recommend you put on for each cheese per person. So, for example, we have 2 bowls of salad, so I'm going to do 2 sections about the size of my thumb. There's 1, 2. That's about it, because we're using 2 different cheeses and we have meat on there too. So again, 1/4 inch slices right there. The cheese is kind of sticky, just have to work through it. And then get your slices, stack them up. And then this isn't very thick, so we can just go right in half. That one's getting slippery. And again, you have these nice julienne strips. That's about what they should look like. A little bigger than a matchstick. If you don't know what a matchstick looks like, then you must have had a terrible childhood. All right. So again, just go ahead and sprinkle that on. It's our Swiss cheese. It's not a lot, but there's a lot going on in a salad, so don't overdo it. Same thing, about the size of your thumb. We're gonna do 2 of those. So, you know, the exact measurement isn't critical, but just get as close as you can. And then we're gonna slice it up. Again, do your julienne strips. And then throw that on the salad. All right, now on to our meats. So normally you want to go to the deli counter and pick out your meat, because it's usually better meat, and then tell them to slice it thick for this salad. So, you know, like 1/8 inch thick slices like this. But when I went to the deli counter, they were closed. 2 a.m. Bullshit, right? So again, about the same amount of meat as cheese. So using your thumbs, just go ahead and that's about 2 thumbs worth of meat. And this is already sliced pretty thin, so I just have to cut it into strips. If you really like meat, go ahead and throw more on. It is a salad, but I guess you can live a little. That's on. Pull that out. Let's use half of that. And then it's already in pretty good strips. Again, just make sure you slide forward while you're slicing it. Go ahead and sprinkle that on. Starting to look more like a salad, huh? Okay. Next thing, we're going to put some sliced hard-boiled eggs on here. You can buy these at your grocer, but I made these. And these we just slice in one direction. Yeah. One Direction happens to be my favorite band as well. Just brings back some good memories. Yolk's gonna come out. That's all right. Sprinkle that on. Then you have cucumber, and normally people peel these all the way, but if you want to look like a real OG in the kitchen, leave little strips of skin, because people do eat the skin of these. I mean, that's pickles, so just peel it like that. You know, you get yourself a good vegetable peeler. This goes really fast and easy. So these stripes look pretty bad, but they actually clean up pretty well once you slice it. We don't need a lot of cucumber either. So just do, you know, thin slices. Thinner the better. You know, 1/8 inch. You know, maybe a little bit thicker than your knife blade. And the stripes turned out pretty good. And then just place these kind of where the egg didn't cover up. You don't need a whole lot. Because you want to see all the stuff that's going on in this salad. And then we got some mushrooms. I cheated and I bought mushrooms that were already sliced. So we'll sprinkle a few mushrooms on here. Just whole. You can break them up if you want, if they look too big. These are just labeled as mushrooms. They're nothing fancy. White mushrooms. Let's toss them on. And again, you want to make sure that you can still kind of see the tomato and the egg and the cucumber. All those different colors are going to stimulate appetite. And when we eat, first we eat with our eyes. So you want to make these dishes look as good as you can. And then a final garnish, we're going to get just a little bit of green onion. So for our green onion, see these roots right here? Just slice them right off. And then you just slice along the length of them, real easy. Start with your tip in the cutting board, and then you just slide it forward. Just slide it, and green onions are a good thing to learn how to cut with because they're firm, so you can keep your fingers well out of the danger zone. You don't have to worry about slicing the tips off. The whole green onion's edible. I usually go till it's getting kind of limp. And then you have enough green onion for garnish. Sprinkle right there. And again, don't cover it. Just make sure you can see all the other ingredients so you can see how much delicious stuff is in there. And that is where we stop. I always let my guests decide how much dressing they want to put on there. Personally, with this dressing and this salad, you really only need, maybe 1.5 spoonfuls, and that's going to cover everything. It's also going to make a nice meal that you can eat, you're satisfied, and you don't feel sick afterwards. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe because we really need the advertising dollars, and we'll see you in the next video.